Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Aisha, and this is a video that I've been so excited to film actually since I got back from Nigeria. And I'm basically going to be sharing all of the books that I got while I was visiting Nigeria. I would also be giving you some backstories as to how I got some of the books, if they were gifts, or where I got them from. So let's get into the video. If you've not seen any of the vlogs that I made while I was in Nigeria, you should go and check them out, as a matter of fact, because I had so much fun. But if you've seen the vlogs, you would know that one thing that was constant for me was book browsing. I went to the bookstore a lot. As a matter of fact, I made it a sort of ritual to go to a bookstore in every city that I visited while I was in Nigeria. And I also attended Aké Festival, which means I had access to a lot of books. And some of my friends gifted me books. I got 17 books while I was in Nigeria, and I brought them back to this country in my suitcase. Anyway, let me start with the first one. The first book on my list is this one called Not So Terrible People by Sule. This is a short story collection, and this was actually a gift from Wardal Bass. She gave me this when I went to Ibadan. I think I saw the book on Twitter and I told her that I wanted a copy. I'm not sure, but she got me a copy of this book, and I really, really love that she got me this. The next book I got is this one called Africa is Not a Country by Dipo Faloyin. Breaking Stereotypes of Modern Africa. This is a pretty popular book. I actually have a library copy of this that I can access, but I wanted the physical copy. The author also was a guest at Aké Book Festival, but I don't think I attended this panel, unfortunately, and so I forgot to sign the book. Anyway, I'm glad I got a copy, and I got it at Aké Festival. The next book that I got is this one called Fasten Feastin' by Anita, Desai. This was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 1999. So I also got this in Ibadan. I got this from the Bookseller Limited, the bookshop that I went to with Warda, Taufik, and Aziza. So I know of Anita Desai. I think I saw one of her books at the library, and I was intrigued. I've forgotten the title of that book now. I'll find a picture and put it on the screen. I was intrigued by the name of the book, the blurb, and I looked into the author and I realized that she writes books that I would generally be interested in. So when I saw a copy of this one, I got it. And I influenced Warda to buy a copy as well. And this was second hand. Like, if you see, the copy is very, it has that old feel. You can see the dots on the book. And I got it for just 35, which is crazy. A bit of backstory. When I was traveling to Nigeria, I had the intention that I wanted to get a lot more classics, and specifically the African Writer Series classics, because I wanted books that I can keep in my book collection in general. And when I was still living in Nigeria, one of my copies of the African Writer Series, I think it's an anthology called Opening Spaces, the first anthology of African women writing. I got a copy of that book from the UI bookshop, which is the bookshop for the University of Ibadan. And this was back in 2018. So when I knew that I was going to visit Ibadan, I decided that for sure, I have to visit the UI bookshop, because the possibility that I would get copies of the African Writer classics books is higher. And I was sort of right, because this next book is The Concubine by Elechi Amadi. I have an e-copy of this book, but again, I wanted a physical copy because it has to be in my physical library. I'm looking forward to reading this book because I've not read it, and people that have read it, they really like it. The next book that I got is this one called The Collector of Treasures and Other Botswana Village Tales by Bessie Ed. This might be the first book by Bessie Ed that I will read, and is also an African Writer Series book. I got this I think I got The Concubine 35 and I got this one 30,000. and I also got it from the UI bookshop. The next book that I got is this one called Wounding Words by Evelyn Accad. This is also part of the African Writer series. So this book is translated by Cynthia Hahn, and I think the author Evelyn Accad, I think she's Tunisian, but she was born in Beirut in Lebanon. So this is an interesting book that I'm looking forward to reading. And Warda actually wanted this book because we only found one copy and I'd already picked it before she came. So she wanted this book and I told her no, sorry. So I need to read this book because Warda is waiting for me to bring it for her to read as well. I forgot to mention that I got this book for 2,000 naira. This Wounding Words, I got it for 2,000 naira. That is crazy. Where would you ever see this for 2,000 naira? The next book that I got is this one called The Lonely Londoners by Selvon. This is a Penguin modern classic book, which is also interesting. I mean, I didn't go to Nigeria with the intention of buying books from the Penguin modern classics, but I saw it and I bought it. I got a copy of this from the Bookseller Limited. This is also, yeah, it smells like old book. This is also vintage, secondhand, and it looks relatively new. And I got this copy for 4,500 naira, which is crazy. It's a steal. The next book that I got is this very interesting one. Again, if you've watched my vlog, you would know about this. This is the Penguin book of French short stories from Colette to Maria Ndiaye, edited by Patrick McGuinness. This is also a Penguin modern classic book, and I got this one for 11.5 actually. It is still a relative steal because if I was going to buy this in the UK, I would have gotten it for £11, which is not crazy. I mean, it's not ridiculous, but 11.5 is definitely less than £10. Way less than £10. So this is still a steal, and it looks new, so maybe it's a new copy. I don't know. I also got Jagua by Cyprian Ekwensi. This I also got from the Bookseller Limited, and I think I got it for 6.5. And this copy is very new. If I was going to get this copy in the UK, I'd have gotten it £10. And this copy is relatively new. I have read this book. I read it back in, I think, 2023. I must have talked about it on this channel. And I wanted a physical copy, and I saw it, so I got it. And I'm definitely gonna reread it. This next book is quite literally the book that changed my life. And I mean that very literally. I feel like this book set the pace for the kind of reader that I've become today, alhamdulillah. And that book is Buchi Emecheta's The Joys of Motherhood. This I got from the festival bookshop at Aké Festival, and I got it new. I got it for 15,750. So this is a new book, and I knew that I wanted to get a copy of this book. In fact, when I told myself that I was going to visit bookshops, I knew I wanted to get a copy of this book, and I wanted to get a copy of The Secret Lives of Baba Shage's Wives. I'm going to give you the backstory when I do the reading vlog for this book, because I am definitely going to reread this book. The last time I reread it, I was 15. And now, this year, inshallah, I'm going to be 29. So it will be interesting to see what my perspective and my outlook to this story would look like 14 years later, being that this was the first African literature that I read in my entire life. So yeah, I'm looking forward to rereading this book. The next book that I got is this short story collection called A Meal is a Meal by Nnamdi and Yadu. When I went to the book stand and I'd gotten the books that I really wanted, I was looking for ways to spend more money. So I saw this short story collection and I decided to buy it. I've never seen it before until the first time I saw it at the bookshop. So it is supposed to be a gothic collection of food-themed stories. It's, of course, written by a Nigerian author, and I think it's a debut novel. It's a debut book. So I got it, and I'm looking forward to reading it. It's a very small book. The next book that I got is this one called Falter by Mutia Badruddin. More interesting backstories. I also got this at Aké Festival, and I got it directly from the author. So I'd read one book by the author back in 2020, and that is Reiki and Z, which is a book with female Muslim representation, which I absolutely love. Black, African, Nigerian, female Muslim representation. When I saw the author, I was very happy to meet her, and she had copies of this book with her, so I got it, and I'm looking forward to reading it. The next book that I got is This Thing Called Love by Oreva Odeiri. I think that is how to pronounce her name. So, this author was on a panel with Amin Bawala, our president, and I found out that our book is a short story collection about romance. So, at the time that I found out about this book, I thought, oh, I'd never read any book that is a short story collection about romantic stories. But then I realized that it was a lie. I read 2 other books that's a short story collection where all of the stories are around love or about romance. And the first one is Love in Color by Bolu Babalola, as well as Love is Beautiful When in Bloom by Lara T. Karim, which are both books you should read. Absolutely. You should absolutely read those books. They are short story collections. So I'm looking forward to reading this book. Even though Fatima already started reading it, not Fatima Abuja, the other Fatima. She started reading this book while I was in Nigeria, and she didn't really enjoy it. So I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it, but I got it anyway, sha. The next book that I got is also a gift, and this is, as a matter of fact, all the books that are left are gifts. It's just crazy. Yeah, my friends, they buy me books. It's really nice. As I was saying before I started blushing, this is We Were Girls Once by Awanose Odafin. This I got as a gift from Taufik, also while I was in Ibadan. So I had read Tomorrow I Become a Woman in 2022. And from what I heard, this is a prequel to Tomorrow I Become a Woman. So I am looking forward to reading this. It's a big book. More in total, it's about 470 pages. I said I was going to read big books this year, so inshallah I should read this book this year. I hope I don't have to reread Tomorrow I Become a Woman to make sense of that. The next book here is a gift as well, and this is The Marriage Class by Adesua Oman OKD. This I bullied Uche into buying for me at Aké Festival. I always bully Uche into buying me romance books. It's signed, actually. I plan to read this book this year, and this will be my second book by the author, because I read one of her books last month, in December last year. The next book that we have here is Black Ghosts, A Journey into the Lives of Africans in China by Nu Saruwiwa. This is a travel log, I believe, and I am looking forward to reading this. I hope it's not propaganda. I already told Taufik, because this was also a gift from Taufik. I told Taufik that I hope this is not propaganda, but I'm looking forward to reading this book. Last but definitely not the least, we have Sand Roses by Amza Kodri. This I got as a gift from Aisha in Abuja. I did not expect this book. She just gave it to me when I was leaving, like, oh, Aisha, I got a gift for you. I'm like, girl, why would you do that? She's so sure that I'm going to love this book. And it makes sense because this book is set in 1931 Algeria that is currently occupied by a ruthless French colonial army. These are all of the books. Let's see if I can carry them. Oh my god. Okay, so going to the gym is paying off because this book is heavy. But these are all of the books that I got. I am so happy. Grateful for my friends. Oh my god. Grateful to my friends that got me books. And grateful for bookstores that exist and sell secondhand books. And just grateful in general. I think it's such a joy to visit secondhand bookshops when you travel to new places. I hope that I continue to do this when I get the chance to travel to new places, even when they are not English speaking. It's just to get the vibe. Who knows, maybe I will find some English book, just stuck around somewhere in this secondhand bookshop. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching me talk about books. If you've read any of these books, please let me know. And if you have any of them on your TBR, maybe we can do a body read. I don't know. I want to read all of these books this year. I don't know. It is a very big reach. But if you have a copy of any of them and you want to body read with me, please let me know. Oh, by the way, I don't think I remember to always say don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I need you to subscribe. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and okay, yeah, I already said share. But anyway, thank you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.